Hello and welcome to one more episode of Reading Comprehension at iQuanta. And I think this number 14. Let's get started. Before that, you are requested to download this app to access free material, especially for IPMAT, and also free doubt solving sessions 24/7. And you also get a chance to make some money if you engage yourself on the app through solving questions from Quant or LRDI or VRC. And of course, the batches that are running for IPMAT for 27 and 28, you can choose. And please read the passage now. Question 1. Question 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. All right, now that you have solved it, we get started with reading the passage and then discussing the answers. Stephen Pruitt spends much of his free time correcting errors that most people never notice. From his home in Alexandria, Virginia, he edits Wikipedia almost every evening, fixing dates, repairing references, standardizing categories, and occasionally writing biographies. Unlike professional editors, however, Pruitt is a volunteer. He has a full-time job in records management, yet he considers contributing to Wikipedia a personal commitment rather than an obligation. Over 2 decades, he has made more than 6 million edits and created over 30,000 articles, making him the most prolific contributor to the English language Wikipedia. Despite these extraordinary numbers, Pruitt avoids visibility. Okay, now this is important that he is not visible. On Wikipedia, he operates under the pseudonym Sir Amancio Di Nicolau and prefers editing biographies of long deceased, relatively obscure, unknown figures instead of contemporary public personalities. Such subjects, he believes, are settled, making them less vulnerable to constant disputes. His work increasingly focuses not on creating new articles, but on maintaining existing ones. Using semi-automated tools such as AutoWiki browser, he corrects formatting errors, repairs broken links, and standardizes citations across thousands of pages. Although these tools speed up repetitive tasks, every proposed edit still requires human review and approval. The first two paragraphs, they belong to someone called Stephen Pruitt and what he does. Pruitt's work illustrates an important feature of Wikipedia. Ab aata hai, what does it illustrate? An important feature of Wikipedia. The encyclopedia is never truly finished. Every article remains open to revision as new information appears or earlier mistakes are discovered. Rather than functioning as a collection of individually authored essays, Wikipedia operates through continuous collaboration. Is never finished doesn't mean that the information is incomplete. More information as it comes keeps getting added. Editors discuss disagreements on dedicated talk pages, where debates over wording, sourcing, or relevance may continue for years. How do you write it? Which words do you use? From where has the information been sourced? Or is it relevant or not? Consensus rather than individual authority determines what ultimately appears on an article. So consensus rather than authority. If most of the people agree, then that information makes sense. This collaborative structure also shapes the site's governance. तो स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है? कोलैबोरेटिव है विकिपीडिया का. Also cites governance. Editors usually work under pseudonyms and influence depends less on credentials than on sustained participation and adherence to shared policies. Okay, less on credentials. If a known person, if a famous person, and everybody knows that, okay, he's editing this part, then chances are that people will get biased and may not be able to counter him or even argue with him. Okay, but since most of the editors, they work under pseudonyms, that is not their real names, so the identities are not open to everybody, and hence it depends less on credentials than on sustained participation and adherence to shared policies. Administrative privileges such as blocking disruptive users or closing discussions are granted through community approval, but even administrators remain bound by rules designed to prevent personal conflicts. Reputation therefore emerges gradually through consistent contributions rather than public recognition. So even when people are not known, not famous, if they are consistent contributors, then they make one reputation for themselves. The rise of artificial intelligence. Now we have something about artificial intelligence. The rise of artificial intelligence has made this model more significant. AI-generated encyclopedic systems can produce fluent summaries, often drawing on information originating from Wikipedia itself. Yet, Pruitt believes the key distinction lies not in accuracy alone, but in accountability. So according to Pruitt, the key distinction is not accuracy alone, but also accountability. Wikipedia's errors are visible, openly debated, and reversible because every edit is permanently recorded and linked to a contributor. Who made this edit is permanently recorded. AI-generated text, by contrast, often presents information without revealing how conclusions were reached or who is responsible for the mistakes, which means with AI-generated content, there is no accountability. As a result, even statements that appear convincing may be difficult to verify or challenge. Kisse baat kare? Because there is no record of accountability as such. For this reason, Wikipedia has prohibited, it has kind of stopped editors from using large language models to generate or rewrite articles directly. The concern is not opposition to technology itself, but the inability of automated systems to participate in collaborative responsibility. Automated systems do not participate in collaborative responsibility like humans did up here. Human editors can justify their decisions, respond to criticism, and revise their work. Machines cannot. As Wikipedia increasingly serves as a foundation for AI systems, its greatest strength may lie not in claiming perfection, but in preserving a transparent process through which knowledge remains continuously open to scrutiny, correction, and collective responsibility. So what is the difference between the processes that are followed by humans and AI? With humans, there is accountability. You know who made the edit and what edit was actually made. With AI, that accountability is not there. Fine? That was the major distinction. So now we have question number 1. Which of the following, if true, would most seriously undermine the author's central defense of Wikipedia over AI-generated encyclopedic systems? Okay, seriously undermine, which means weaken. Fine. A, experienced Wikipedia editors frequently disagree with one another despite relying on the same evidence. Okay, we need to find a way to counter the author's preference of Wikipedia over AI-generated encyclopedic systems. And I think it was about accountability. There's nothing in this one. B, a future AI system maintains a publicly accessible history of every revision, explains the reasoning behind each change, and allows human users to challenge or reverse any generated content. Now, if you read here, beta, AI-generated encyclopedic systems can produce fluent summaries, often drawing on information originating from Wikipedia itself. Yet Pruitt believes the key distinction lies not in accuracy alone, but in accountability. Wikipedia's errors are visible, openly debated, and reversible because every edit is permanently recorded and linked to a contributor. AI-generated text, by contrast, often presents information without revealing how conclusions were reached or who is responsible for mistakes. Now, if AI starts doing this, then the argument that the author has would be weakened. So I think we can happily stay with B and go and eliminate C and D. C says, many Wikipedia editors rely on semi-automated tools to speed up repetitive maintenance tasks. Not related. Some factual errors remain on Wikipedia for years before being corrected. Even if they remain before being corrected, how does it concern the AI part? So it is eliminated. We go with B. A future AI system maintains a publicly accessible history of every revision, explains the reasoning behind each change, and allows human users to challenge or reverse any generated content. Perfectly all right. If AI starts doing this, it will weaken the author's central defense of Wikipedia. 2. The author refers to Wikipedia as an encyclopedia that is never truly finished, primarily to suggest that, okay, A, Wikipedia's incompleteness prevents it from becoming an authoritative reference source. Nowhere in the passage has it mentioned that it is not an authoritative reference source. It is continuously improving. More information is being added. Errors are being done away with. Number B, editors deliberately avoid completing articles because doing so discourages future participation. Deliberately avoid. No mention of any deliberate avoidance of completing the articles. C, knowledge is dynamic, requiring continuous revision through collaborative scrutiny rather than permanent closure. Actually, this is the case, and that is why an article is not finished, because the information keeps on. I mean, if you get new information, you add it. It's dynamic. D, Wikipedia's dependence on volunteers makes systematic completion practically impossible. Dependence on volunteers makes systematic completion practically impossible. Well, he has not mentioned that because of this collaboration and all, it is not possible to complete the article. Simply because information is dynamic, requires continuous revision, and it is collaborative scrutiny. So I think we can stay with C for cat. अब चलते हैं D3 की तरफ. Which one of the following assumptions is most essential to the author's criticism of AI-generated encyclopedic content? The criticism was that there is no accountability as such. A, transparency in the process of knowledge creation contributes to its trustworthiness. All right. B, human editors are inherently more intelligent than artificial intelligence systems. There is no comparison in terms of being more intelligent. They are as accurate. Okay, so let's eliminate this one. AI-generated content inevitably contains more factual inaccuracies than Wikipedia. Again, we don't have enough data in the passage to say कि AI वाला जो है वो ज़्यादा गलतियाँ करता है मुकाबले Wikipedia के. तो this is also eliminated. D, collaborative editing eliminates ideological bias from encyclopedic writing. The problem is we didn't have any thing about ideological bias. It was information, and from where has the information been picked? ये discussion ज़्यादा है. I think we can stay with A, that transparency in the process of knowledge creation contributes to its trustworthiness. So if AI started maintaining the historical log that this edit was made and this was the source, this person made it, just like the humans are doing right now, it will increase trustworthiness. All right. Number 4, suppose Wikipedia decided to remove public edit histories while continuing to allow collaborative editing. Based on the author's reasoning, which consequence would most likely follow? A, Wikipedia would become virtually indistinguishable from AI-generated encyclopedias in the respect the author considers more significant. So, अभी क्या है कि Wikipedia has the records and AI doesn't. Now, if you remove the records from Wikipedia as well, then there is no major difference between Wikipedia and AI-generated systems. Let's hold it. B, editors would become less willing to contribute because they would no longer receive recognition. Anyway, beta, they are not working for recognition. Most of them are working under pseudonyms. So this is immediately eliminated. C, Wikipedia's factual accuracy would necessarily decline. We don't know. Just because we don't maintain records doesn't mean that the accuracy goes down. Not necessarily. D, the distinction between administrators and ordinary editors would disappear. This was never the point of discussion. So we can stay with A, that Wikipedia would become virtually indistinguishable from AI generated encyclopedias in the respect the author considers more significant. And what was that respect? That was accountability. तो यहाँ भी नहीं रही, वहाँ भी नहीं रही, तो दोनों क्या हो जाएंगे? Indistinguishable. Now 5. Which of the following best describes the role of Stephen Pruitt in the passage? Okay. A, he is presented as evidence that exceptional individuals can exercise disproportionate influence over collaborative institutions. But in case of Wikipedia, since people are working under pseudonyms, and plus there is no recognition, there is no kind of जाना पहचाना आदमी काम कर रहा है तो उसके नीचे कोई काम कर लेगा. The thing is that it majorly depends on consistent contributions. So it is not about disproportionate influence. B, he serves primarily as a narrative device illustrating how an institution built on ordinary, largely invisible contributions can sustain extraordinary public trust. I think we can hold it. C, he exemplifies the growing conflict between volunteer knowledge production and commercial AI companies. There is no discussion of a conflict. D, he demonstrates why subject matter expertise is more valuable than collaborative consensus. In fact, Wikipedia is all about collaboration. So this again is a false statement. And we go back to B, he serves primarily as a narrative device illustrating how an institution, that is Wikipedia, built on ordinary, largely invisible contributions can sustain extraordinary public trust. Public trust उस पे है, and that is why अभी वो AI generated system से आगे चल रहा है. Next one, the passage would most likely agree with which of the following statements? What can be inferred? A, reliability depends primarily on minimizing factual mistakes. I think more than minimizing factual mistakes, it was accountability. तो अभी इसको hold करते हैं बेटा, वापस आएंगे if we don't find something better. B, artificial intelligence should be prevented from accessing publicly available knowledge repositories. Should be prevented? The passage does not talk that this should be prevented. They should better start keeping records of the edits. That was the argument. C, human judgment remains valuable, not because it guarantees correctness, but because it enables accountability and revision. All right, I think this is a better one. D, collaborative knowledge systems inevitably become more accurate as they grow larger. Not necessarily as they grow larger. We don't know about this. ठीक है, inevitably मतलब हो ही जाएगा ऐसा, no guarantee. Okay, let's see A and C. A says reliability depends primarily on minimizing factual mistakes. It was more about accountability, I suppose. So we eliminate this and we get back to C. Human judgment remains valuable, not because it guarantees correctness, but because it enables accountability and revision. So these were the 6 questions. And I think a few names that I read in the last session, Adishri, Shaurya, and I think one Adi, and Prince. Well done kids, you are doing nice here. Number ला रहे आप लोग, ठीक है. Some of you may find it easy. I mean, well done if you find it easy. These are easy अभी तो, ठीक है. चलिए बेटा. You've got again iCoins, paisa, and of course the batches. Take a pic. Bye bye.